Yeah. So today we'll discuss about Citrix virtual app and desktops. What is the purpose of this virtual app and desktop, and what are the architecture components we have with the Citrix virtual app and desktop? Today we will discuss. Okay. So first, what is the purpose of Citrix virtual app and desktop? So what is the purpose of Citrix virtual app and desktops?
To provide the
We
applications to
can
Yeah,
acceptable
yeah. Say here it's going to provide applications,
and desktop to the end users.
yeah, and desktops, and like even sometimes it may provide the content also. Okay, so content may be any media kind of content or like documents. This kind of content also can be delivered to the users. Okay, so what is going to happen is we have one remote server. Remote server is having applications. Those applications, those applications are delivered to users. So those applications have been delivered to the users. Okay, so those applications have been installed on those servers. Okay, when I'm talking about the servers, is those servers are Windows servers or Linux servers? So those servers are the Windows servers. Okay, so we require the Windows servers. Okay, one of the prerequisite on those Windows servers is RDS also is one of the prerequisite. On top of that, we have the Citrix virtual app and desktop. Okay, so then applications have been installed. Those applications can be delivered to some thousands of users using the ICA protocol. With this, we no need to install the applications on the client devices. So we don't need to install the applications on the client device. On demand, those applications can be delivered from Citrix virtual app and desktops. So the like a user understanding is like that. But in order to deliver that in the Citrix architecture, we have a lot of components. What are those components? We'll discuss. So what is the client understanding is he is having a client, and from this he's having one like a plugin is there. Using that plugin, he is going to connect to those applications.
So applications and desktop.
Yeah, applications. As of now, we are discussing applications. Okay, so using the protocol, what is the protocol is going to connect? ICA is the
I see a
protocol.
protocol.
Okay, but we have a lot of components in the middle. What are those components? We'll discuss. But this is the Zenap kind of view. But virtual desktops also are now included on hypervisor or cloud. We have desktops. Those desktops can be delivered. Those desktops can be delivered to any device. Okay, so we have a hypervisor that's maybe a VMware ESXi server or Citrix Gen server, or we have Hyper-V, or even in AWS or Azure also we have the resources, or physically also. Physical desktops we have. Those desktops can be delivered to any device. Say here, if I'm talking about any device, means what is that?
mobile, laptop,
Yeah, it's maybe a mobile, laptop, thin client, zero client, smart TV, whatever it's maybe the device. We are going to deliver those desktops or applications. That is the solution of Citrix virtual apps and desktops. Okay, but here these desktops are running where? These desktops are
hyper,
running on a hypervisor.
Hypervisor.
Yeah, so for applications, we can use maybe a Windows server. On top of that, we can deploy the applications. Okay, but here to run the multiple desktops, we require the hypervisor.
Sir, hypervisor and Hyper-V both are same.
No, no. Hypervisor is the general term for the server virtualization. Microsoft hypervisor name is Hyper-V.
Okay, okay.
Okay, say if I'm talking about a hypervisor, meaning is it's a server virtualization solution. What is the VMware hypervisor is? ESXi
Yes,
server.
exactly.
Yeah, so like this hypervisor is the general name.
Okay.
Okay, so just like database. So database means we have a lot of databases. Oracle is one
Citrix is Zen
database.
server, sir.
Yeah, Citrix is Gen server.
Zen server.
Sometimes they
Okay.
kept Citrix hypervisor also.
Okay.
Okay, so otherwise we have KVM, Oracle Virtual Server. So these are all the different hypervisors. Again, in the hypervisors, we have two types of hypervisors. Okay, so now first, otherwise, we'll discuss what is the concept of virtualization. Okay, so what is your understanding of virtualization? What is your
It,
understanding of virtualization? Yeah.
it is the process of dividing the resources like CPU and RAM, like that.
Yeah. So it's not only CPU and RAM, one
Okay.
physical resource can be virtualized into multiple resources. So one physical resource can be virtualized into multiple resources. Okay. So what we are going to happen, we are going to do it is, we are going to virtualize into like here server virtualization. Then we have desktop virtualization. Then we have application virtualization. So these are the three types of virtualizations we have. One is server virtualization, second one is desktop virtualization, third one is application virtualization. Say here, in the server virtualization, the general term we are using is hypervisor. Okay, server virtualization or hypervisor. Server virtualization or hypervisor is a special class of operating system which is having the capability of running multiple operating systems. So server virtualization is having a special class of operating system which is having the capability of running multiple operating systems on top of that. Normally, we can install only one operating system, but we can run multiple operating systems. So we are virtualizing at the store CPU, memory, that means the physical resources also are getting virtualized, then storage and network level, we are virtualizing the resources. So that is called as server virtualization. Okay, then if I go for the desktop virtualization, server virtualization, the general word is hypervisor, and in the market we have two types of hypervisors. Okay, so any idea what are the two types of hypervisors? First one is called as type 1 hypervisor. Okay, the type 1 hypervisor itself we are calling as a bare metal hypervisor. Bare metal hypervisor. Okay, the second one is called as type 2 hypervisor, or that itself is called as a hosted shared hypervisor. Okay, so type 1 hypervisor or type 2 hypervisor. For the type 1, what is the name is called as bare metal hypervisor, and for type 2 hypervisor is called as hosted shared hypervisor. So in the type 1 hypervisor, what is happening is on the bare metal, that means on the physical hardware itself, we are installing the hypervisor. Okay, so if you go for VMware ESXi server or Citrix Gen server or Hyper-V, if you go for the Hyper-V, okay, or Oracle, Hyper-V is Microsoft one, Oracle Virtual Server or we have Linux having KVM, kernel virtual machine. If you go for these hypervisors, these all comes under type 1 hypervisors. Okay, so this all comes under type 1 hypervisors in data centers or cloud-based data centers also. Mostly will use type 1 hypervisors. Okay, what is other name for type 1 hypervisor? What is that? What is the other name for type 1 hypervisor?
Bare metal
Yeah,
hypervisor.
bare
Bare
metal
metal.
hypervisor.
Bare
Okay, so
metal
uh,
hypervisor.
then the second type is called as type 2 hypervisor. On the type 2 hypervisor, on the hardware, in the type 1 hypervisor, what we are doing is on the hardware itself, we are installing, on the hardware itself, we are installing,
Hypervisor software.
yeah,
Machines
hypervisor.
can-
Yeah, hypervisor we are installing. But if I go for the type 2 hypervisor, on the hardware we are installing, okay, first operating system. This operating system may be Linux or Windows or maybe Mac we may have. On top of this, we are going to run the type 2 hypervisor as an application. Mostly the type 1 hypervisor we are installing as an operating system, or it's maybe a firmware. But type 2 hypervisor is, but type 2 hypervisor, we are mostly installing as an application. We are installing as an application. On top of this, we are running the VMs. On top of that, we are running the VMs. But if I go for the type 1 hypervisor, normally we have the hardware plus hypervisor itself we are going to install. Then we have the VMs. Okay, say in the data centers or in the cloud also, like if you go for AWS, Azure, GCP, definitely they will have the hypervisors in their data centers. Okay, say in which scenario we are going to use type 2 hypervisors is maybe for the dev environments or for in our laptops or for practice purpose, we are going to use the type 2 hypervisor. But which one is the data center product?
type 1
Type
hypervisor.
1.
Type 1 is the data center product. Okay. So what are the different type of hypervisors available in the market?
Hyper V
Yeah,
ESX.
ESXi server, Gen server, I think.
ESXi server,
Mentioned.
Gen server, and Oracle virtual server, kernel virtual mission from the KVM. Okay, Citrix having Gen server. Okay, say any examples of type 2 hypervisors? What are the products we have is VMware having a
VMware
workstation.
workstation.
So VMware having VMware workstation and Oracle having virtual
VirtualBox.
box we have. Oracle having virtual box, Microsoft having virtual PCs there, and even VMware for Mac operating systems, they have a Fusion. And previously on top of Linux, we have Vagrant. So these kind of tools comes under type 2 kind of hypervisors. Type 2 kind of hypervisors. Okay, then what is the concept of desktop virtualization? Okay, so desktop virtualization, even Citrix Virtual App and desktop is one of the desktop virtualization also. Okay, desktops running on remote servers. Say here we are calling this as maybe a hypervisor, mostly the hypervisor, but even physical or cloud based also now supported. Desktops running on remote servers can be delivered to any device using the desktop virtualization. Okay, so that is desktop virtualization. And so what are the products we have for the desktop virtualization is Citrix. So now
Gen desktop.
previously it's Zen desktop.
DDI
Yeah, but virtual app and desktop itself now.
desktop.
Virtual app and desktops
Desktops.
itself from VMware. Previously it's called as View. Now it's Horizon. VMware View
Origin.
Horizon. Okay. So then mostly like Microsoft also having their own VDA kind of solution. Now they have integrated that with AVD, and AWS also having workspace. AWS is also having the AWS workspace. Okay, so then Microsoft KVM having one Spice is one of the protocol on the Linux to deliver the desktops. Okay, so like this, here we have the different VDI kind of solutions. Citrix is the leader. After that, Azure also is trying to acquire the market. If you know these VMware View, Horizon, AWS Workspace also we can manage. Okay, so then what is the meaning of application virtualization?
Applications running on can be delivered.
Yeah, applications running on the remote servers can be delivered to any device. Okay, so here applications are running on remote servers can be delivered to any device. So that is called as application virtualization. So now here also, previously Zenab we have, now here Citrix virtual apps and desktops. Citrix virtual apps and desktops we have, and VMware having ThinApp, and Microsoft having AppV. Microsoft having AppV is their own application virtualization solution. Okay, so these are all the products we have. So today we'll discuss about Citrix virtual app and desktop architecture components. So what are the components we have in the Citrix virtual app and desktop? We'll discuss. Yeah. Any doubts before this? Any doubts?
So in VMware Thin App and app we can deliver the desktop also, or only
No, no,
applications we
no,
can
no.
deliver.
VMware View Horizon we can integrate with the virtual apps. Sorry, that thin app.
Okay.
With the View Origin, we can integrate with that. Okay?
App also same, na sir? App
AppV
application.
Microsoft solution, Microsoft AppV. But now no
You can
one is
deliver
using.
both also.
No, no. Citrix, Microsoft also having their own VDA solution, but now they're promoting Azure AVD itself.
Okay.
Okay, so but in all these, Citrix is the leader.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, so now we'll discuss the architecture components we have with the Citrix. Okay, so now Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops, formerly known as ZenApp and Zen Desktop, is the complete VDA solution provided by the Citrix. Okay, so now here we can deliver like applications to the any device over any network using the ICA protocol we are going to deliver. Okay, so what is the ICA is? Independent Computing Architecture. Okay, so now here uh, the end user devices can run applications and desktops independently on the device operating system and interface. That means the device may have Android, iOS, or maybe previously we have BlackBerry, Java kind of, or thin clients, whatever it may be the device and operating system. Okay, we can deliver the desktops, and it doesn't use most of the client resources. Those are running on the remote servers itself, easy to administrate. We can provide the security, we can control the access, okay, and we can manage the policies. Lot of administrative benefits are there. Okay, so then from the single data center, some thousands of applications and desktop endpoint devices are easily manageable. Okay, and what is the architecture we have in the newer version is FMA. Okay, so previously we have Say what is the difference between IMA versus FMA we'll discuss. Okay, say in the previous we have Citrix Zenap 6 and 6.5. We have independent management architecture, but now in the 7.x both Citrix Zenap and Zen Desktop has been integrated, and that is called as FMA, FlexiCast Management Architecture. The FlexiCast Management Architecture. Okay, so FlexiCast Management Architecture. Okay, say is we have the multiple versions of Citrix. We can integrate both ZenApp and Zen Desktop has been integrated from a single administrative console. We can deliver all these things. Okay, that is the advantage of the FMA. Okay, now like we can what are the components we have in this? We'll discuss. So if we go for these components, now here Citrix users. Okay, so having a Citrix Workspace app. Citrix users having Citrix Workspace app. We have the different names for those, but technically that Workspace app is that Citrix Workspace app is. That is a like a ICA client. Citrix Workspace app is nothing but a ICA
I
client.
see. Client.
Okay, so on the client side we required ICA client is required. Citrix ICA client is required for those. Okay, so then external users are connected through Citrix Gateway or Netscaler. Okay, what is the meaning of internal users and what is the meaning of external users? What is the meaning of external users and external users?
External.
External users also our
That's
company employs itself, but they're connecting from their home or from their outside of our office network. They're connecting. Okay, internal users means they came to our office and they're connecting from the office network. External users are from the outside. They're connecting. Okay, so if the user is connecting externally, then he is going to access to Citrix Netscaler or Gateway. Okay, if the user is coming from internally, then directly he will access through Storefront. Have you got the difference right? Internal users are connecting through
storefront.
Storefront. External users are connecting through Citrix Gateway or
Great.
Citrix Netscaler. Citrix Netscaler. Okay, the main server component is delivery controllers. The main component is delivery controllers. Okay, so then in order to administrate your delivery controller, we have console. That Microsoft Management Console is Studio. So administrators will use Studio to administrate. Okay, and for monitoring purpose, what we are using? For the monitoring purpose,
Director.
director we are using. Okay, so then Citrix is open source or like it's paid one?
Paid one.
Paid one. Okay, that is the reason. In order to validate whether we have licenses or not, we have the license server. Okay, and all the data of our Citrix controller details or all the site information is need to be stored in one database. For that purpose, we have SQL server. Okay, and for the authentication purpose, authorization, like whenever we have the username, password, whether those are valid or not, all these we are going to check in the enterprise with the Active Directory. Active Directory. Then we have finally one component is called as Virtual Delivery Agent. That is called as VDA. We have two types of VDAs. One is server VDA, second one is desktop
Desktop
VDA.
PDS.
Desktop VDA. Even on top of this, we have the user profile management. So those also will discuss. But here, if you go for these components, Yeah, can you tell me from the client side what is the main component we have is?
I see it.
Yeah, client side we have a one small app is need to be
It's
installed.
a work.
That is called as workspace app, but
Yeah.
user can connect even from the browser also. Okay, external users are connecting through external users
Citrix,
are connecting
Citrix
Citrix
through
Net,
Gateway,
a
Netscale,
Citrix gateway
Netscaler.
Citrix
or
NetScaler,
yeah, Citrix
Citrix
NetScaler.
Gateway
Internal
and
users are
Gateway,
connecting through
Storefront.
Storefront.
storefront. So now, when the user is authenticating, can you guess storefront will communicate with which component for the authentication?
Active Directory.
Yeah, Active Directory. It is going to communicate with the Active Directory, and Active Directory verifies whether those credentials are valid or not. And if those credentials are valid, then those details would be sent to delivery controller. Okay, so delivery controller, and delivery controller will check from the SQL server wise what are the applications or desktops or content that user has authorized. Okay, then that list should be given to storefront. Storefront will display on the client side. Then user can click on that application or desktop. Then launching is going to happen. Okay, so now here we can
Yeah.
divide this launch process into two types. Okay, so first one is enumeration. Okay, so in the enumeration process, user is getting the list of applications and desktops which he has authorized. And once he got that list, then he can click on those application icon, then launching is going to happen. So now here we have enumeration process and launch process. Okay, so now the components wise, Citrix workspace app, or previously it's called as Citrix receiver. Okay, so otherwise we have in the online agent. Otherwise we have PN agent. So with the different versions of the Citrix, we have the different names. But technically all are equal to me or the ICA client itself. All are technically ICA client itself. Okay, so in the latest versions we are calling as workspace app. Previously we have Citrix receiver. In Zenap 6, it's called as online agent. In presentation server, it is to called as PN agent, program neighborhood agent. Okay, all are ICA client itself. Then here for internal users, they're going to connect through
Storefront.
Storefront.
storefront. External users are connecting through Citrix
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 gateway
Gateway
or
Gateway.
that's
or
Netscaler
NetScaler.
gateway also we can call. Okay, so from there it's going to communicate with the Active Directory. Active Directory, and if it is successful, okay, that would be forwarded to inside our infrastructure. If it is a failure, that means user authentication is failure, then it will reject that session. Okay, that means the user credentials, Active Directory will give that user is not a valid user, then storefront will display to the user itself that credentials are not valid. Okay, so then if it is successful, okay, from Active Directory to storefront, it will get those details, then storefront will communicate with, okay, say here we have delivery controller. The main component is the delivery controller. Okay, in our real time, we don't maintain only one delivery controller. We are going to keep 3 to 4 delivery controllers, because even if one delivery controller goes down also, our solution should be highly available in the enterprise environment. That is the reason we are going to maintain multiple delivery controllers we are going to maintain. Okay, so now after authentication, storefront will communicate with the delivery controller. Again, delivery controller will check with Active Directory.
Directory.
Okay, so Active Directory again it is going to check. Then from there it's going to check that controller will check with the database also. Okay, so we'll check with the database. Then it's going to communicate with the database.
ICA client.
No, no, not directly ICA client. After checking with the database, it is going to retrieve the list of applications and desktops which user has authorized. That in the form of XML file is going to give to storefront. Storefront will display that to the client. Okay, so client will get the list of applications and desktop icons which he has authorized. Who is going to give those to the client? Storefront is giving. Who is giving to storefront?
Database.
No, no.
No,
Client.
Controller.
DDC.
Yeah, controller is going to give. The controller,
DDC.
delivery controller is going to give. Okay, that controller will get those details from the database. Okay, so then it's going to display those details on the client side. Then either from the on the workspace app he can see, or if the user connects from the browser, then from the browser he is going to verify those. Okay, so then if you come to this architecture component, what is the purpose of Studio? Most of the administrative,
Management
yeah,
control.
most of the administrative work is done from Studio itself. Most of the administrative work is done from the Studio. And what is the purpose of director?
We will monitor the infra,
Yeah,
Citrix
so most
infra.
of the monitoring. Okay, so before director, that say before director for the monitoring, we used to call that as edge side. Okay, previously it's a edge side server, but now that is part of director itself. Previously in the Zenap 6, we have the edge side server to monitor, but now that itself is called as director. Okay, Studio. Okay, in the previous versions, what is the disadvantage is we have the multiple consoles to manage. That means Zen Desktop will have Zen Desktop console, Citrix Zen App will have maybe App Center or maybe Citrix Delivery Service console. Like this, we have the different names to manage. But now all are have been unified and easy administration is possible for the Citrix Zen App and Zen Desktop, and which is a Microsoft management console. Okay, say not a browser base, but now in the newer versions, even they have given the web console also. What is the difference is MMC is Microsoft kind of console, or from the browser also we can manage. That is web console also is supported. Web console also is supported. Users are going to access through Studio or admins are going to access to the Studio.
Admins
Admins.
are going
Yeah,
to.
admins are say nowhere it's related to the users. Okay, and director also is used by the users or like monitoring team and admins.
Monitoring team and admins.
Yeah, monitoring team and admins are going to use director also.
Directors.
Okay, so users are going to access only from the workspace app. From the workspace app. Okay, so workspace app is technically it's a ICA client. Okay, what are the different names of ICA client we have?
So Citrix workspace or receiver,
So Citrix workspace app or
workspace or receiver, online agent, PN agent,
yeah, online agent, PN agent. So
agent.
these all the different types we have. Okay.
Sir, here I am a
Yeah.
little bit confused about the internal users and external users, sir.
Yes. Yes. So suppose assume you are working in a like maybe Wipro. Okay. So now you went to Wipro office. Okay. Then you are an internal user because you are connecting from the device in the Wipro office and from the Wipro network you are connecting.
Okay.
Okay, external user means you are connecting from the outside network because from your home you are connecting.
Okay. So for few of the users telling that They are connecting through VPN network.
Yes, yes. So now even if you go to the Wipro, you may connect to your client network over a VPN even in the Wipro also.
Okay.
Means from your laptop you are connecting to your client network. So maybe your client is maybe JPMC, assume. Okay, just you are using Wipro network in order to connect it to your JPMC network. In the JPMC network, you are accessing your apps.
Hmm.
But if you go for the Citrix, you no need to go for the VPN kind of connectivity because Netscaler itself will provide that also.
Yeah.
Okay, say external users are. So I'll tell one more scenario. Maybe like a FedEx is there. FedEx having FedEx devices.
Hmm.
Okay, so those devices, maybe they're accessing, say suppose every FedEx courier guy will use that device. Okay,
Yes.
he is in the office or outside network?
He's in outside the network.
Outside network, he is an external user itself.
Okay.
So he is receiving those FedEx apps through Netscaler kind of connectivity.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so means internal user is he is in our office network.
Hmm.
So which required more security is from the external access we required encryptions, then SSL kind of offloading, TLS termination, that all provided by the Netscaler. Internal users uh, directly can use the storefront.
Okay.
Okay, so client to this controller, the communication brokering is done by storefront.
Hmm.
For external users, Netscaler is doing or Citrix Gateway is doing. Okay, and for the security purpose, here we have two firewalls. Okay, so between these two firewalls, what is that area is called as normally DMZ. DMZ. So now here we have two firewalls, right?
Hmm.
In the middle, what is this area is called as DMZ, demilitarized zone. Most of the servers which can be exposed publicly, we are keeping in the DMZ. Okay,
Okay.
these all the servers inside we have the firewall, right? We have a lot of servers. These are not publicly exposed.
Okay.
Okay, which server is publicly exposed?
Citrix
Citrix gateway.
gateway.
Yeah, Citrix Gateway. That is kept in the.
Between the firewalls.
Client
For
Okay, so,
external
yeah. So
users.
how many firewalls are there here?
two
Two.
firewalls.
Two firewalls. Okay, if I have the two firewalls, this is called as single hop
DM.
DMZ. Single hop DMZ. Okay, we can have double hop DMZ also. Can you guess in the double hop DMZ how many firewalls would be there? Three firewalls.
Hmm.
Okay, so now here we are going to add one more firewall also for more security purpose. Okay, so as of now we are keeping only single hop DMZ, but some companies may go for more security purpose. They may have double hop DMZ also. Netscaler supports both. Single hop it supports, double hop also it supports. Okay,
So after storefront, it will keep if another firewall.
no. In that also will keep Citrix Gateway itself.
Okay.
So storefront is supports two possible kind of things. One is in the DMZ we can keep the storefront with Netscaler itself, or we can keep inside itself. Okay, so storefront also can be kept inside the DMZ itself. Okay, otherwise storefront can be kept inside. This is secure.
Okay.
Okay, so in the DMZ also we can keep storefront also, but not a best practice.
Okay. So for the
Okay.
external users will connect to the Citrix gateway, and after that,
After
Citrix
that,
gateway will
after
connect to
that,
the server.
gateway itself will verify with the Active Directory.
Oh, okay.
So
So
gateway
there
itself,
no need the delivery controller and storefront, sir,
yes,
for
no need.
external. Okay, okay.
No. After that authentication, it comes to storefront also.
After authentication only, it will go to
Yeah,
the
it
store.
comes. Otherwise, it's not going to send.
Okay, okay.
It's going to
So
communicate
again,
with the storefront. After that, almost the steps are same.
hmm,
So we'll discuss the enumeration launch process even from the gateway perspective and from storefront
store.
perspective also.
Okay, sir.
Means
Okay.
means external users directly connected to Citrix gateway. After that, it will connect to Active Directory, then validate to directory controls
Yes.
and send to the share point store front
Yes.
packets.
Even for the external users, we may have multi-factor also.
Okay.
So maybe they may have RSA validation, fingerprint kind of validations. Those all also authenticates by NetScaler.
Okay.
Then it would be sent to storefront.
Okay.
Then storefront to again almost 90% the process is same. But from the NetScaler perspective also we'll discuss that. Because in the interview also people ask either from the storefront perspective or for the external users from the NetScaler perspective. As of
Okay.
now, we are going to communicate with the internal users. Okay. So now here this is another diagram. So we'll have the user device. Workspace app is communicates with either NetScaler to storefront. Okay. Then storefront to controller. Okay. Then controller in the middle we'll have in this one is missing is Active Directory. Okay. So then using this it's going to communicate with the SQL database also, and it retrieves all the details and it gives to storefront. Storefront to client device is going to click. Once user clicks on this, again it comes to storefront to controller, and the controller will give which VDA need to be given to the user. So now, like here we have, previously VDA means virtual desktop agent, but now in the 7.x, virtual delivery agent. Okay, so here we have two types of agents. One is server OS agent or multi-session agent. Second one is desktop OS agent. This is for the single session. If you are using any server class kind of thing, like maybe Windows Server or those things, we'll use the server OS. And if you are using any desktop OS, it's a single session OS. On the single session agent, we are going to install. Okay, so now
Multi multi-session agent means multi users it will connect,
multiple
sir.
users can connect.
Connect.
Okay, so mostly for the apps, we are going for multi-session agent. So that
Okay.
means if you have Windows Server 2016 or 19, okay, so 22, now
So
25 also came. Okay, so these all server OS. If I
okay.
install VDA on that, that can be given to multiple users. But if I have Windows 10 or Windows 11, those can be given to the single user session.
Single users, desktop OS.
Yeah, desktop OS we can deliver.
Okay.
Sir, is there any limit for the multi-session
That
voice?
depends upon the limits from the resource wise we have and licensing wise.
Okay.
So that means one single server can't accommodate some lakhs of users.
Hmm.
Okay, but overall, if you want to deliver to some lakhs of users, we need to go for more VDAs
Okay.
and more
Need to
controllers. Means we need
install
to
more
scale up
servers.
our infrastructure,
Okay. Okay.
and that licensing also we required.
So
Okay,
those license will be provided by Citrix or Microsoft?
Citrix,
Oh,
both we required.
both will get. Okay. Sir.
Say here we required even RDS CALs, and for those Windows servers licensing, all these also we required.
Okay. Sir.
So if the Citrix usage is increasing means indirectly it's Microsoft also is getting benefit. But
Okay.
if that 1 lakh users management is very costly without Citrix.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay, so the desktop maintenance or the app maintenance is very expensive without Citrix. So for us, Citrix licensing looks expensive, but the overall benefit given by the Citrix is huge benefits are there to the enterprises. That is the reason large scale enterprises, mostly those who have minimum 2000 desktops or 10,000 desktops, like this, they are going to maintain the Citrix. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now here we have what is this like components we'll discuss. In the next session, we'll go for more enumeration and uh, authorization. The main component is Citrix delivery controller. Citrix delivery controller. Okay, so the delivery controller is the main component of each site. Previously, we used to call it as the form. Now that is called as the site. Okay, so one site will have more controllers. Why we are going for more controllers is even if one controller goes down, the solution should be highly available from another controller. Okay,
Controller.
so that's the main administration wise. The controller is the main component. Okay, and mostly we are installing on the Windows server. Okay, so minimum we are going to maintain 3 to 4 controllers, and whenever in the user enumeration kind of thing, we are going to distribute the applications and desktops, authenticate and already storefront will authenticate, but authorization is going to happen. Which of the desktops and applications as user has authorized, it is going to check from the Active Directory, and from that is going to validate from the database also, and brokerizing that which of the VDA need to be given to the user, optimize the user connections, load balancing internally. These all done by the administration kind of thing. Okay, so then, like, what is going to happen if my storefront goes down, or if my controller goes down, license server goes down, studio goes down, director goes down, Active Directory goes down, or maybe database goes down, or VDS goes down? We'll discuss. Okay, so most of the times, Citrix has given very good architecture. Even if any of the components goes down also, the solution is highly available to the users. The solution is highly available to the
Yes, sir.
users. Okay. So now we have a slight confusion between the VDA and online plugin and or maybe workspace app. Okay. Inside we have the VDA. That VDA, like client to server, communicates with the VDA itself. But in the enterprise login mechanism, like we have the storefront, these all doing the communication brokering. Directly user is not going to connect with the VDA. For that communication brokering, for the session connection, for the authorizations, okay, for load balancing, for optimization, setting up the policies, for all these we have a controller is there. Storefront will act as a communication broker between client and that controller. Storefront will act as a communication broker between them.
Storefront and Netscaler also
Yeah.
same
For external users,
functioning.
Netscaler. Netscaler
Netscaler.
will provide
Mm,
more features also, like
okay.
TLS termination. Okay, that means external users are coming through HTTPS.
Okay.
You need to authenticate.
443 and 18.
Yeah, 443 it comes. And even
Okay.
while transferring the data also, that ICA need to encrypt and need to send it.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
So enumeration and launch process we'll discuss in the tomorrow session. So with that, we'll go for the installations.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sure.
Hmm.
Any doubts?